Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Collections Corner. I am Paul Newman, Museum Collections and Operations Manager, here with the American Revolution Institute of the Society of the Cincinnati. When most people think of swords, they likely conjure up in their mind a weapon of war, and they would be right to do so. But equally as important, and at times more so, was the non-martial meaning drawn from swords both by their owner and the wider community. Across the centuries, swords have stood as symbols of power, of defeat, of status, and as gifts or as tokens of thanks. For the two swords that feature in this month's video, it is this latter category that I will speak to. During the American Revolutionary War, the Continental Congress decided to award 15 officers each a presentation sword as a reward for their service. By 1784, only the sword made for the Marquis de Lafayette had been completed. In stepped former Connecticut line officer and aide to General Washington, David Humphreys. Humphreys, himself awarded a sword from Congress, obtained support to travel to Europe to have 10 of the swords manufactured. For the maker, he selected Paris-based sword cutler Liger. Here at the American Revolution Institute, we are fortunate to hold two examples of Congressional presentation swords. The first awarded to Marylander Samuel Smith. Congress, on November 4, 1777, resolved that an elegant sword be provided by the Board of War to Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Smith for his gallant defense of Fort Mifflin on the River Delaware. The second of the two Congressional presentation swords we hold were awarded to Smith's fellow Marylander and the longest-serving aide to General Washington, Tench Tilghman. Sadly, in 1786, before he received the sword, Tilghman passed away. Just a month later, Secretary of War Henry Knox had Tilghman's sword sent to the widow of Washington's former aide, Anna Maria Tilghman. The design of the 10 swords that Humphreys had made differ very little. They are of the form known as a small sword, a style popular with gentlemen on both sides of the Atlantic during the 18th century. The swords measure around 38 inches in length, with a blade at around 31 inches. The swords are exceptional examples of the sword cutler's craft of the latter half of the 18th century. The silver hilts are richly decorated with designs both of classical inspiration and representative of the newly formed United States. A cartouche on the grip features the date that Congress resolved to present that sword and to whom it was awarded. The steel blade is blued along the length of the blade, a process in which the blade was submerged into a molten salt bath of potassium and sodium nitrate. Subsequently, the blades were gilt-etched with foliate and military-inspired designs. Samuel Smith's and Tench Tilghman's swords both represent the remarkable service of a group of officers during the Revolutionary War. They speak to the admiration held by a Congress that owed its very existence due to the toils of the officers and the men who fought against the British. As material culture, these swords are outstanding for the high quality of workmanship exhibited. In the time that these swords were made, and today, they stand for symbols of military service. To Anna Maria Tilghman, who cared for her late husband's sword up until her own death in 1843, it would have been a direct connection to her late husband. To learn more about the two swords featured in today's video, check out the blog article in the description below.